So I've got a few miles on the bike now, and I wanted to share some of my gut impressions. And I've been trying to do a very honest review of what I like and don't like, and I'm trying. So we got up this morning nice and early. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. We want to go out and get some break-in miles on the MT-09. Now my late friend and very good, excellent, world-class motorcycle tuner, Kenny Augustine, used to tell me, when you're breaking in a new motorcycle, first couple tankfuls of fuel, put a couple ounces of Marvel Mystery Oil. Now it's just funny, I was talking to Jose, and he suggested the same thing. So, of course, we're going to do that. Now I was meticulous when I broke in the R1, adding the Mystery Oil, about 2 ounces to a tank full. And that bike's got way over 30,000 miles, doesn't burn a drop of oil, has been absolutely perfect. I did the same thing. In fact, it was the bike I started doing this with, the Suzuki GS. That engine, over 70, way over 70,000, doesn't burn a drop of oil. And we also did it to the 650. And I have to admit, all these bikes have a lot of miles, and that trick seems to be bulletproof. Now, Kenny Augustine was my tenant in one of my rentals for many, many years. And he used to tell me like what I call the secrets of the champions, because he worked for Team Honda, had his own speed shop. And when he passed on, Kevin Cameron even recognized him in his column as being one of the really, really good tuners of the world. So Kenny and Jose, that is a good tip. And this is the kind of tip that you don't see this in magazines or out on the internet that often. I'm trying to share things that have worked for me many, many years. So while Don was here and doing his photo shoot, I read the manual, of course, and what I did for all the Breakin miles that I'm going to get in the next week or so, I'm going to try. I started with all the suspension settings, and the shock has a dampening adjustment, a spring adjustment. Everything is soft as possible. 32 pounds in the back tire, 30 in the front. I started off on the forks on their softest setting and softest dampening. Now the reason for that is I'm going to be riding slow. I'm not going to be riding the edge of the tire or anything for the next, well, 800, 1,000 miles or whatever. Maybe it'll be boring, but I'll try to get some nice footage on some scenic roads and maybe do a talk over the video instead of doing what I usually do on a video, putting camera cuts in. But anyway, I think that breaking in a motorcycle is a prime way to either make it a 100,000 mile motorcycle or make it that it's starting to burn oil after 10,000. You could figure that out yourself. But I've been lucky. I've been following the tips. See, here's the good thing. I'm not a real smart guy, but I know a lot of smart people, and I know how to listen. And when somebody that's a lot smarter than me, like Kenny Augustine, says something, or somebody that puts a lot more mileage on a bike like Jose, or somebody that's a better mechanic like Luciano, what I do is I just take advantage of all their knowledge and then paint their bikes for free over the winter. It's true. So the idea today, while we're doing break-in miles, especially the first ones, is to find a nice residential area where it'll be scenic, low traffic. We're not going to do any high-speed cornering or anything. We're just going to try to get some nice miles on and off the throttle, and no really high speed anything. I like to get everything seated in as nicely as possible, and the biggest thing, never hold the throttle in one position too long. On the gas, off the gas, on the gas, off the gas. And boy, that has worked well for me. Worth its weight in gold.
Here we are getting ready to go, and it's a beautiful morning. Really beautiful. Sun is shining. It's supposed to be nice until noon and then get cloudy. Now I purposely picked this area. It's up around Kinnelon. There's a lot of very nice areas to ride. The problem is, as you can imagine, they're among beautiful houses.
I'm on the bike now, and I wanted to share some of my gut impressions. Some of the things I didn't know if I'd like. Absolutely beautiful little dashboard. Very easy to read while you're riding. No matter how fast you're going, what gear you're in, the fuel. It even tells you the mileage. How much mileage you're getting. Not that I would care about that, but... So my gut impression is number one. With all the settings on soft, it's a very, very comfortable bike. Very comfortable. Now, in the future, once I get the break-in miles done, of course, I'll stiffen it up. But it is absolutely beautiful in the soft setting.
And today we're not going to be getting on the throttle that much anyway. Now in these populated areas, it's good to have a quiet bike.
Another gut impression, the muffler is just loud enough. I know it's not going to come out the way you would want on a video, an aggressive driving video, but it is so nice. Driving a bike, you have just enough of a noise, just enough the feel of a real motorcycle. The muffler, and I know I've watched other videos where guys have changed the muffler out, made it louder. I'm going in the opposite direction. I want to be stealth. I don't want people knowing I'm coming down a block.
Especially in these populated areas where I'm riding lately.
Now I'm trying to put my finger on the things I like about the bike and the things I might not like that I want to change. One of the things that's really nice, really nice, is the clutch pull. The clutch pull is super light because it's a slipper clutch. Of course, it's a cross-plane engine, and it's very torquey, very torquey. You don't have to do a lot of downshifting. So those are things that I really appreciate. And I know all the people that have reviewed these on YouTube pretty much say the same thing.
And boy, there are a lot of videos on YouTube on the MT-09. Watch the people, watch it. They wave to you, see? If you come by on a quiet bike, they wave to you. When I go by on the FZR on the same road, they throw rocks at me.
Another thing, the transmission shifting is just smooth as butter. Now, some of the bikes that I've had, that's not true, and they never seem to wear in as miles go by, but this one is great.
It's a cassette type transmission too. Oh, that's cross-plane music, all right. Cross-plane music.
Now, I've been real careful not to slam on the brakes. I'm trying to break the brakes in, break the pads in nice. And the brakes are just like any modern bike. I think it's safe to say all modern bikes have really good brakes. I'm sure you can do a stoppie with this with 2 fingers.
It'd make a great stunt bike, I'm sure. A fabulous stunt bike. Now, this road that I'm riding on is variable surfaces.
And what I'm trying to do on this ride is give my impressions while they're fresh in my mind. One of the things, I thought the seat might be a little, well, it looks like it might be a sport bike seat, but it's not. And if you look at it close, it really is a lot thicker than a typical, like an R1 seat. The seat has worked out to be way better than I thought it would be. And it's early in the morning, it's still nice and cool, and I'm just enjoying the ride like I can't even explain it. This really exceeded my wildest expectations.
That seat is beyond belief good. Great seat. Now, early in the morning, the sun is still shining over the trees. And this area up by Kinnelon has a lot of nice back roads.
Now, another gut impression I have, I just think if I set this bike up this way, and of course you can do it with a screwdriver, and the tool they give you in the toolkit, you could go for an all-day ride in complete comfort.
They do include the shock adjusting tool and some other tools. Oh, I love this road. This is a great road.
Dave Morse says these shocks last 8 to 10,000 miles. And what people do is replace them with an upgrade, of course. And you can buy them on the internet very cheap. I may buy an extra one if I know you can get them very cheap. But for right now, when you're just riding around and not doing a track day or riding too aggressively, that shock is just fine.
Now Dave Morse has his own tuning channel, and it's a great channel on YouTube. Check it out, Dave Morse. Now I'm basically doing street riding with this right now anyway.
Now the bike shifts beautifully. I don't know if I'm ever going to want to upgrade to the quick shifter. I've seen some of the models, some of the people like the quick shifter. I kind of like shifting. I'm so used to riding the RD where you got to shift every mile. So anyway, that's one of the possibilities I'll check out. Luciano thinks I should get the sliders right away before I drop the bike. I'm not sure I'm going to drop the bike, but I hope I don't. Probably get that. I got to get the spool to the back and come up with some kind of gizmo to get rid of that fender eliminator. But none of that stuff, not one thing there is going to keep me from having a great ride today. This is the first ride out on the bike, and I am stoked.
And I love the fact that I'm stealth in these populated areas.
Now I know the special edition they sell in England, they don't sell it in the United States. They take this and move it over, and I noticed they have 2 bolts here. I'm not sure, I really like that. That's one of the things I really didn't know if I was going to like. I thought I'd want to have it in the middle. I think it's kind of cool, but I still have to see how it's going to look when I put that little cover on there, or I make something, I don't know. But boy, for a first day out, you can't get a lot better than this, that's for sure. Now, one of my gut impressions, and I guess this is the big thing, it's the thing that matters. Because this bike, Karen bought it for me as a 75th birthday present. So realistically, this might be the last bike I ever buy. But boy, if there ever was a good last bike in your career, this is the most fun bike. Absolutely the most fun. It's a great last bike.
You just can't say enough about these roads. What a beautiful area we found up there around Kinnelon. It is just priceless. Great for breaking in an engine.
Just a great bike for the back roads. I'm not sure you could have a better bike for these back roads.
And so nice not to have a bike that's so loud the neighbors are throwing bananas at you.
No, I thought I'd put this on the video just to remind me years from now. We bought this bike on the day, well, we went out shopping for it. We didn't actually buy it till a day after this. Where more trees were down, it was just unbelievable. And even up here where I'm riding up north, there are trees everywhere down.
Great place to go through the gears if you are looking to do that. Beautiful straightaways too.
Now I gotta mention this even one more time. This seat is a lot more comfortable than an average sport bike seat. Even though it gets thin up here, it seems like for my body size, the bars are perfect. I will never touch the bar. I won't even adjust them. They're perfect. That seat is perfect for me. The pegs are in the right position. And one of the reasons I wanted this bike was the riding position. I was very critical about that. That has exceeded everything I thought it would be. This has just been a wonderful day to do some break-in riding. And once I get that first, I'm going to try 800, 1,000 miles, probably in 2 weeks. We'll set those suspensions up. We'll do a video on setting up the suspension the way I do it, which has worked pretty well for me. And trying a different engine settings for right now. I'm just in standard mode and just riding around, enjoying the scenery, and absolutely enjoying the torque. The reason they call this an MT, it's supposed to be maximum torque. And it is.
Believe me, it really is maximum torque. This thing really has a lot of grunt down low. And no matter where you ride, that engine is just unbelievable.
What a beautiful torquey motor. You just can't imagine how torquey that is. I can't wait to get into it. Even down at the bottom end, breaking it in. I've been riding it in a gear or two higher than it has to be, and it has been a blast to ride. Now they said these headlights were upgraded for 2020, but since I don't do a lot of riding at night, I wouldn't really know how to evaluate it. I guess that's my answer, but I'll have to take a ride at night to see if they are as bad or good as they say they are. I don't really know.
I love riding when nobody is in front of me.
So there's always little things about a motorcycle that either makes you like it or hate it. One of the things I like, personal thing, I like to have a throttle with a very light spring. I don't like to have one of these things. They're always tight. Now, in the past, I've tried using those cruise control things that go on there. I'm just not happy with them. I prefer having a light throttle, and I've changed the spring on many of the bikes, so it had a softer spring. This bike has a very soft spring. Now what I did, I got almost 100 miles on a bike. I hit the mode switch, put it in A mode, and boy, the throttle response is really, really sweet. I'd probably be using A mode for the duration of the bike, but that light throttle spring, I'm trying to review the bike on things that really matter to me. They may not matter to you. You might be more excited about passing somebody going down the straightaway. These are the things that matter to me. Comfortable seat, a riding position that fits my bike. This is a free bonus. Now, the only quirk that I've got on the bike so far, I've got one little nitpick that probably will be straightened out without a big deal, is I have, right now, gone 77 miles, and I've only used a very little gas. So I don't know how accurate that gauge is, but most of my bikes, I buy gas at 100 miles. I don't like to use that bottom little bit of gas in the tank. So it looks like we either get tremendous mileage, or it looks like you probably get 150 miles. But what I'm going to let it do is, at some point in time, let it run out of gas and see how many miles we get. Now, it has that feature that you can check the mileage, but right now it's a new bike. 77 miles on, what is that, a tenth of a tank or something? I don't know, a sixth of a tank. The mileage is good. Not that that would be a problem, but it's a free bonus.
And who really cares what mileage you get if you're enjoying the ride? You take out the credit card, you buy the gas, and put it back in your pocket.
And we have just taken advantage of a super beautiful day for this test ride. And for the first day out, I'm not sure I could be happier. And I've been trying to do a very honest review of what I like and don't like, and I'm trying real hard to find stuff I don't like. Probably the biggest complaint I have about the bike is just styling things, that it really needs that little piece over there. Probably that's a $50 part. And that back fender thing, the two cosmetic things, neither one of them affect how much I've enjoyed riding the bike today. And that first 100 miles has just been beautiful.
And boy, these back roads around Kinnelon, you can't find fault with them. You almost never have anybody riding in front of you. Wish I could say that about Rutherford as we get home. Not happening in Rutherford. In Rutherford, you almost never have that nobody is in front of you. But anyway, it was a great day today. Really a good day. So there you have the first 2 days on this video of actually picking up the bike, having a couple laughs with some other people that had bought a similar bike, and all in good fun, of course. And the first day out, the first 100, a little less than 100 miles by the time I got home. There's some funky thing with the gas gauge. It goes about 70 miles, doesn't move, and then it moved 2 notches. And then I parked on a hill and it showed full again, which of course most bikes do. And it never went back. So I don't know if it's a funky gauge or maybe it's just me, but a gas gauge is something I don't even pay attention to because I usually like to ride 100 miles and put gas in the bike. And everything else, if that's the worst thing wrong with the bike, I'll fall in love with it. I can't wait to start polishing up some of the paint, especially the wheels. I know this is factory paint, factory wheels. I can get a much higher gloss on it. There's a couple little things I want to do. That fender eliminator thing, I got to figure that out. I looked on YouTube and several people in England have these cool little cowls. I don't know where they got them from. I have to find out. Or I have to make one, which would be, if this was the middle of the winter, I wouldn't even look online. I'd just make one. But here's the whole deal. It's been 11 years since I bought a new bike. And when I bought the R1 and the Kawasaki, they were brand new. The first days out, I always had just like what I have right now. I was looking for something I didn't like. Well, with the R1, I was kind of uncomfortable. The clip-ons were too low, and this bike is so. There's a thing about this bike that's very, very. It draws you in. It's comfortable to ride. There's probably faster sport, but definitely faster sport bikes, track bikes. But if that's not the focus of your riding, if your focus of your riding is like today, 100 or 150 miles of comfort, and in a few, I know, when I put this thing in A mode, wow, it went from being nice to the throttle to like, ooh, nice, really. I'll bet Luciano's going to love it. In fact, as we speak, Luciano is out looking at a Yamaha that he's going to buy. I'll bet by the time I get downstairs, he's already bought it. But anyway, all beside the point. I got to thank a lot of people here, the healthcare workers, which I try to never stop thanking. But as I went around today and I saw how many people were still taking down trees and doing cleanup and wires down, I thought, man, I gotta thank all those people too, because it's all that army of people that make it possible that in my retirement days here, I can go out on a day like today with a new bike and have a great time. Come home and my grandson's on his way over here. I try to get some pictures of him sitting on the bike, and it just couldn't. I always say life is good, life is great. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Share it with your friends. I don't know what to say about the bike other than if you haven't test ridden one of these, you really should if you're looking for a new bike, and especially if it's your last bike, because this will bring back all the memories of why we all started riding in the beginning. We all started riding because it was just fun. This bike is fun. So again, thanks for watching, and I hope we see you on the next. I try to shoot a video out every day or so. Hope we see you again. Thanks for watching, and enjoy that MT-09. That is Mighty Torque 09.